Hello, college algebra students. Today we are looking at section 2.1, lines in the plane and slope. The slope-intercept form of the equation of a line is y equals mx plus b. The m is the slope of the line. The b is the y-intercept. I like to think of it as m for move, because the slope tells us where we move. It's usually written as a fraction, and the numerator tells you where you're going to move up or down, which is the rise, and the denominator tells you where you're going to move left or right, which is the run. The y-intercept, the b, tells us where we begin on the y-axis. Find the slope and y-intercept of the equation of the line. Sketch a graph of the line. So that means we need to solve these for y. Subtract the 2x from both sides. 3y minus 9 equals negative 2x. Add the 9. 3y equals negative 2x plus 9, and then divide everything by 3. So the equation of the line is y equals negative 2/3 x plus 3. The slope of the line is negative 2/3. The y-intercept of the line is 3. So we're going to put a point on 3 on the y-axis, and then since it's a negative 2, we'll count down 2, and the 3 tells us to go right 3. And then you can draw a line through those 2 points. For number 2, again, we have to solve it for y, so let's subtract x. The opposite of y minus 10 equals the opposite of x. Add the 10. The opposite of y equals the opposite of x plus 10. And then we need to make the y positive, so divide everything by negative 1. The equation of the line is y equals x minus 10. The slope of this line is going to be 1. The y-intercept is negative 10. So we're going to put a point at negative 10 on the y-axis. Just going to label that right there. And then you'll go up 1 and right 1 since it is a positive slope of 1. And then draw your line through your points. Next, we're going to talk about horizontal and vertical lines. To do this, we're going to use Hoy-Vux to help us remember different characteristics of horizontal and vertical lines. Hoy refers to horizontal lines. A horizontal line is going to have a slope that is equal to 0, and it will have a y-intercept, and the equation will also be y equals. Vertical lines have slopes that are undefined. They have x-intercepts, and their equations are x equals. For example, Let's say we have a horizontal line that goes through 2. The y-intercept is 2, the slope is 0, and the equation for that line is y equals 2. Next, let's say we have a vertical line that goes through -4. The x-intercept is -4. The equation is x equals -4. Example 3. Write an equation for a line which passes through the point -4, 1, having an undefined slope. So let's first find the point -4, 1. An undefined slope will be a vertical line. So our line looks like that. And vertical lines always have equations that are x equals. So in this case, x is going to equal -4 because we go through the point -4, 1, and on the graph, the x-intercept is -4. Example 4, write an equation for a line which passes through the point 2, -5, having a slope of 0. So plot the point. And this time it's going to be a horizontal line because the slope is 0. Horizontal lines always have equations that are y equals. And since it goes through -5 on the y-axis, the equation will be y equals -5. The slope of a line through 2 points is found by subtracting the difference of the y's and dividing it by the difference of the x's. This is a formula that you absolutely have to know for all the quizzes and the tests in this chapter. Find the slope of a line containing the points 2, 4, and 4, -4. If you want to see what that looks like, it would be 2, 4 would be about right here, and 4, -4 would be about right there. And so the line would look about like that. When you label your points x1, y1, and x2, y2, it doesn't matter which one is the first point and which one is the second point, as long as you are consistent. So to find the slopes, we find the difference of the y's and divide by the difference of the x's. For this one, we end up with -8 over 2, and so the slope is -4. And if you look at the line, it's going down, so it makes sense that the slope would be negative. The next formula that you need to memorize is the point-slope form of the equation of the line. This is to be used when you are given a point and a slope. This is another one you have to have memorized. Example 6, find an equation of the line that passes through the given point and has the indicated slope. Sketch a graph of the line. So the point that we're given is -2, -5. That will be the x1, y1. The slope is 3/4. The point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we're going to replace y1 with -5. The slope is 3/4, and x1 is -2. Then you need to solve it for y. Y plus 5 equals 3/4 times x plus 2. Y plus 5 equals, distribute the 3/4, so 3/4 x plus 3/4 times 2 over 1 would be 6/4. Subtract the 5. Y is 3/4 x. Then out here to the side, I'm going to do 6 over 4 minus 5 over 1. Simplify that. 3 over 2 minus 5 over 1. Oops, 1, sorry. Then multiply by 2 over 2 to make common denominators. So 3 halves minus 10 halves is negative 7 halves. So minus 7 halves. And that is the equation of our line. And now we need to sketch the graph of that line. Negative 7 halves will be about negative 3.5, so about right there. And then from there we're going to go up 3 and right 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a point and then draw your line through your 2 points. Example 11, write an equation in slope-intercept form for a line passing through the points 4, 3, and negative 4, negative 4. We have to do a couple of steps in this one. We eventually will use the point slope form, but first we have to find the slope. So to find the slope, we'll need to do negative 4 minus 3 over negative 4 minus 4. And so again, I'm using this as x1, y1, and this is x2, y2, and just substituting those in. Negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7. Negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8. And we end up with a slope of positive 7/8. Now when we go to the point slope formula, we can make our substitutions. y1 is 3, the slope is 7/8, and x1 is 4. We need to distribute the 7/8. And then 7/8 times 4, do this out here. That's going to simplify so that you have 7 over 2. Then we're going to add the 3. And y is equal to 7/8 x. And then, again, kind of to the side, negative 7 over 2 plus 3 over 1, multiply it by 2 over 2 would give you 6 over 2. So this is going to be minus 1/2. And that's the equation of your line. The negative 1/2 would be about right there. And then we need to go up 7 and right 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then over 8. And I'm off the grid, so we're doing a little bit of estimating there. I will give you graph paper to do your assignment so that you will be more accurate. Parallel and perpendicular lines. Two lines are parallel if they have the same slope. They are perpendicular if their slopes are opposite reciprocals. What is the slope of a line parallel to y equals 3x plus 7? Well, this line has a slope of 3, so a parallel line would also have a slope of 3. A perpendicular line would have a slope of negative 1/3. And I apologize for the typo. This is supposed to be a plus right there. So the perpendicular slope is the opposite sign and the reciprocal. At this point, we're going to stop the video, and I need you to continue with the second video for today's lesson to finish up the rest of the examples.